I'm Sam Zagar, your projector guide and host, and this is A New Narrative. We're hopping into Season 5. We're going to be exploring the bridge between the mundane and the mystical. It is time to stop replaying those old scripts and write a new narrative. I'm glad you're here. Let's get into it. All right, everyone, welcome back to a new episode. I have Hanna Williams with me today. She is a 2/4 splenic projector, and I'm just gonna say, if I could give you 3 keynotes, do you accept these for like your focus? It would be God, conflict, and like human experience is one word.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right,
it's pretty
guys.
good.
So she's extremely well suited to this because I like when people take I want to take something meaty and also make it edgy, right? I like God, I like source, but I like when tradition meets, oh God, I would be a fusion if I was a religion or a restaurant or something, you know?
Like Thai fusion.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
people ask me if I'm Thai. I'm like, I am definitely a fusion looking human for sure.
I could see
Uh,
that.
okay, I also think it's extremely neat that you have, I'll give everyone a little awareness of your definition. So she's channel of struggle and channel of abstraction. Y'all, that's like a joke. If you know human design, I think that's a joke. Um, so like wide split, always struggling, and then telling herself fantastical stories about it. Let's say that. 3 parts, right? Completely open solar plexus. Let's just go back to completely open solar plexus and your emphasis on conflict. You basically make God and conflict the same thing.
Yeah, maybe.
A
Actually,
little.
yeah. My religious tradition is basically about like turning the conflicts you or struggles you deal with into a very meaningful way of life. So,
Now you follow and it follows, everyone has their own association with how words are used. So when I say follow, someone might think like you're obsessively attached to or have been a devotee for how many years or whatever, but you model or your foundation for your religion comes from what?
I am part of a classical Shakta tantric tradition. So it's like a stream of yoga philosophy, but it's centered around the Divine Mother being the source of the entire universe and everything that you interact with.
Does that make your God feminine
Yeah.
always?
Well, no. I mean, she technically has a counterpart, which would be Shiva. There's like the divine masculine and the divine feminine, but it's a biune reality. So there's two faces of the reality, but it's actually just one reality.
Which does suit traditional human design cosmology, where the origin is feminine and feminine that created masculine in order to make creation.
Wait, that tracks.
Which is fascinating because it's actually cosmology where a lot of people bail on human design because once you follow certain questions, right? Like there's a how to land the coordinating in your chart, right? But when you get to the questions of like, life and death and afterlife and reincarnation and all that stuff, some people get really ugh, because there are parts of human design that'll teach about, let's say, the Bardo experience, where you don't touch the body for 3 days after death in order for the personality crystal to fully detach and be able to go back up into the bundles. But then so
Oh,
many
that's
people are
interesting.
like, well, what if I get pushed off a fucking cliff and then eaten by an animal? Do I not get to reincarnate then? Like, what the hell?
Ah,
It makes human design potentially, when you track it far enough, can make death a scary or negative thing because it might say, like, post 2027, when we're going to have a huge population die off, we're encouraged to believe that it's the not selves who will perish first, right?
mm.
Oh, okay. So then there's a little bit of like, if I'm correct, I'll be one of the survivors, or if you died,
Right.
you
It
weren't
turns
correct,
into some
or
sort of gospel.
it can get pretty interesting when you get further in, and that's where I start to go, hmm, how much of
Well,
this
I'm really
comes from
grateful. I'm really grateful that I had my worldview before I found human design. So I
okay,
don't have that problem.
what's your worldview?
The worldview is the classical Shakta tradition, is the Shakta Tantra. That's my
Okay,
worldview.
describe. I'm like, am I supposed to have a worldview? What is
Well,
mine?
everybody has a worldview.
How do we find it? How do we identify it?
Well, it's like your belief system. I mean, if you don't have an intact worldview, you're like in an insane asylum. Like everybody has a worldview. It's your meaning making system for how you think reality works.
Okay, so I'm feeling a little bit like I'm having a hard time like structuring this part of the conversation now. This is let's bring in all my leftness. But like, how might I identify that? I'm feeling so baby right now, but I'm like, crap, what's my worldview?
Well, I would say like the human design system is probably a really big part of your worldview because you have to be pretty bought into a lot of stuff to think that it's real.
See, that's the irony though. I've never really necessarily bought into the fact that it's real. I like to fuck around and find out.
Totally.
And if it's wrong, the third lines will find out. As
Oh,
in,
well, I actually wonder if part of your worldview is fucking around and finding out. Like that's how you've built your narrative of reality.
oh, I am like I used to be really annoyed with myself, but I now have very much kind of just like once you hit a certain age and you're like, oh, I am what I am. This is just like how I operate. There are certain things where like you can't tell me what something is and have me believe you. I have to physically
Yeah,
attempt to do it myself to
yeah,
understand.
yeah, totally.
I would say like, okay, can my worldview be crafted around like when my ethics might kick in or when my morals might kick in a situation?
Yeah, yeah.
All
I
right.
actually think like okay, so like to get to brass tacks about it, like maybe like the most base thing that like I think most human okay, and I don't say most humans. So like a lot of humans are operating from like a worldview of scientific materialism.
Okay.
So like that worldview would be like consciousness arises from matter. So matter was here first, and then consciousness came out of matter. That's a scientific materialism worldview. I operate from a non-dual worldview where I believe that matter arises from consciousness. So that's the most
Which lends to
fundamental,
manifestation.
yes, that's the most fundamental aspect of my worldview that I think a lot of people actually agree with if they really think about it.
Is there any chance that we're not creators?
What do you mean? Like as individuals?
Well, like, what if my consciousness doesn't create the reality? What if something else creates the reality and my consciousness is experiencing it?
I think it's all one and the same.
Well, this gets very heady channel of abstraction.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is like my world for over a decade. This is like the world that I operate in, and I teach about this religious philosophy. It's like my whole bag. And I also have a defined head, so I'd be thinking.
Yeah, 1,000%. But you're also a second line. So gifted, genius, can't necessarily explain the gift or the genius. You
I
just
know.
have it. And your hope motivation. So
Yeah,
you're obviously going to be spreading the belief.
yeah,
Okay, here to become a believer. Okay, that makes
yeah.
sense. Here to convert other believers. Now, one of your content pieces was about a podcast, and you were like talking about God, and it was like people about God, life. And I was like, okay, so for
Oh.
you, everything is expression of God.
Yeah, it's like everything. So a scientific materialist would say like everything is made up of atoms. For me, all of those atoms are God. So
I
like the
love
the
these
building
things.
blocks of reality are consciousness or awareness. Like I think God maybe is like a word that we can get snagged on. It's more like consciousness or awareness is the thing that is the substratum of all of creation.
It's like I can look at a bubble and you can look at a bubble and someone else can look at a bubble and we can all call it something different, perceive it slightly differently. Like I love
Definitely.
all this stuff. I micro macro is something that really wants to come out because for like there's worlds inside worlds inside worlds inside worlds inside and human design will teach the belief that we are both cells within a developing fetus. You're a projector cell, and I'm a projector cell within a cosmic in utero fetus that has not been born yet. And while we think
I'm
that we are
obsessed
the
with that.
right, am I the conscious individual or am I the conscious cell within something that is a much larger macro? I've been pregnant, but am I still a part of like a billions of years pregnancy?
Yeah. Yeah. I would call
And
that the evolution of consciousness. Like I would say that like I feel like human design's an expression of the evolution of consciousness.
Now, how do you feel about something like simulation theory, where it's like we can just, like, we're not actually here, we're projecting an experience here?
Well, that's really interesting because, okay, so if I were to use like traditional like yogic philosophy to kind of talk about that, like I would say that like that's kind of like Advaitic Vedantic tradition view, which is that like all of physical creation, like everything that you look at is an illusion
Yeah.
and it's not actually real. And so like if you watch like The Matrix, I feel like The Matrix was really inspired by Advaitic Vedantin
Yeah.
philosophy.
Yeah.
We My guru actually calls it kind of like integral Advaitism, where it's like we view it all as the one, but we don't see it as an illusion because it's all actually very real. It's like gravely real. So if you say that it's an illusion, you're saying that it's not real, but like to us, it's like it's actually very everything is like extremely real.
So that's kind of like the joke of all of it is like whether this is real or not, or a perceived activation of my cognitions or not, I'm still here to experience the
Yes.
activation of these cognitions within this reality.
Yes.
So it is real, as in, if at any point we deem that it's a simulation, the very first thought would be, well, why wouldn't I just hit eject, or why wouldn't I hit reset, or why wouldn't I?
Totally.
And I can see some value in, oh, I don't have to be so concerned about dying because
Totally.
I could just hit reset or whatever. So
Totally.
it can remove the fear, but removing the fear also kind of removes, like, we have fear because things are significant to us and we don't want to lose them.
Hmm.
Okay, so like, if I'm going to assume that whether this is a simulation or not, I chose to be in it, or I'm in it for some reason, or I'm in it in this thing for some reason. So shouldn't I be in it? You know?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah. I would say that like the simulation theory vibe, people can do whatever they want. I think it's a very like traditionally like masculine, detached aspect of like approach to spirituality that was appropriate maybe like 1500 years ago. I just don't really think it's like relevant anymore because like anyone that I've known that's like really into the simulation theory thing is not like really like a good boyfriend or something. Like you get like too deep into that, and it's like remember that you have to like go to work and like raise your kid. I think that if you don't have a heart for life, if you don't have a heart for engaging with life, like something's missing. But that's just my opinion.
Interesting. I don't disagree. Like, simulation theory would definitely appeal to people that don't necessarily want to be in the simulation as much.
Totally. Yeah, and so my guru would say like just go off to the monastery then. Like don't try to get into a relationship, you know? Because you're gonna be a nightmare.
This is fun. This is fun.
This is like my favorite topic, so I'm glad that we're talking.
Well, like, I don't have beliefs. I hardly have opinions. I'll
Hmm.
sometimes question if I have morals, but then I get like super fired up about something and I'm like, oh, yeah, no, I care
Yeah,
about that. Um,
totally.
but a lot of stuff I don't care about. And a lot of stuff I'm just not convinced, you know?
Yeah.
Um, including,
I had a phrase that I used to say a lot like a few years ago, which is that I don't have beliefs, I have experiences.
yeah,
And so I wonder if that maybe resonates a little bit more with your.
that's very much in line with channel of abstraction. Okay, channel of abstraction
Totally.
is so appropriately named because it shows us where abstract collective definition is, but abstract is an experience that makes sense after the fact. So you don't learn until the experience is over. Yeah. And then you struggle through it.
Totally.
Channel of struggle.
Totally. I know. And then with the fighting, I heard Amanda Horvath, because she also has this channel of struggle. She said that she's here to mutate fighting. And I was like, yes.
Ooh, that's
So
fun.
with the conflict, I was like, that's like super on point with me.
Also, I really like Amanda.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so as much as I like human design, I do love to like just poke at shit a little bit,
Yes.
very much my third line way, and
Yes.
willfully. I'll just blast through it, even if it hurts a little. Um, anything about it that doesn't work for you, doesn't fit?
I love this question. Well, I think that this is so interesting because I've been in this tradition for over a decade. And it's very much focused on not ego, like not like killing your ego, but like giving your ego a different job.
Oh,
And so like there's an emphasis on doing a lot of work on the ego to like be less identified with your like individual expression. So like I feel like I spent the first like 8 years of being in my tradition like trying to disidentify, or I don't want to say that actually, that's not true. Trying to hold lightly who I am,
okay.
hold it really lightly. And for the first like yeah, like 8, 9 years, I was like never really into astrology. I didn't really care. Like I knew what I was. I've been Aquarius since I was like in the third grade. But I always kind of saw kind of personality systems like this as like a way to kind of reinforce an egoic identity.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Because then you can just get like attached to it. You can be like, well, I'm a 1-3, so I have to do it like, oh, and whatever. People are going to do whatever they want to do. I think it can cause suffering if you get too attached to what you think you are. But
Yeah.
to what the thing that I really liked about human design, it came in at just the perfect time as it does. But then also I felt like, oh, this is just like opening the hood of the car. I'm going to get better at driving my car and just see what happens.
Yeah.
And I feel like I hold it loosely. This isn't answering your question at all,
I
but
don't even
maybe I just
remember what
wanted
my
to.
question was.
You were asking what's my problem with human design.
Oh yeah, okay, cool.
But like maybe I'm setting the stage for like how I felt about things like this in the beginning, where I was like, this is too much identity based, but now I just kind of see it as like reading the manual for the car, which is probably a good idea if you're going to drive a car. Um, but then I think that like this is my problem with most spirituality is just like kind of like devotion for the source that gives us the opportunity to run the experiment. And if obviously with like source material, you're not going to get that because Ra was like an atheist. But like I just feel like like that's really missing for me in like most spiritual things is like where's the devotion to the thing that even gives us the opportunity to have this experience?
Okay, this is really
But I
good.
had that before I came to human design, so I don't have that problem. You know what I mean? But I could like that's the thing that I feel like maybe it's not supposed to serve that purpose.
No, but that's really neat
Anyway.
because you just documented my evolution through the system. Because yeah, by year 6, my podcast became Exploring Source. And it was a shift because people always called me the stupid dogmatic fundamentalist. And I was like, I'm just looking for the fucking source. Okay. Which is why, I get brash to the point where I've made comments like, well, maybe Raw is the OG pop HD. I've said that so many times. Like people are like, you love Raw. And I'm like, no, you like to project that I love Raw because I was singular in my discovery. I didn't go all gene keys. I didn't go all over here.
Yeah,
There's so much raw material that all I did was
yeah,
fucking raw, 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 raw. And
yeah,
I'm consecutive. It's just all I wanted. And I
yeah.
eventually got deep enough into it with like cosmology and stuff where I was like, some of this tastes kind of funny. I'm going to talk to
Hmm.
people about this. And then I started
Hmm.
realizing where people have issues with human design and stuff. And what was fascinating is it still took me to God. I started reading my Bible again, year 6 of human design.
Hmm.
So it's not God. Like, I don't even have a defining worldview on, I don't have a defining God view. Like, I
Hmm.
don't have a God
Hmm.
is this or that, or
Hmm.
I'll never convert anybody to anything. I'm still looking for the source.
Hmm.
But I do like the acknowledgement of like where are we giving praise, worship, credit, whatever to
Hmm.
the thing that turned on the experience in the first place.
Hmm. Yeah, or like the thing that just keeps your heart beating, like period. Like that vital life force. I mean, we talk about life force so much in human design. Like, what is the life force? The thing that
This
keeps
has
your
been
heart
really
beating.
neat because I just got trampled by my horse a week ago and
Oh yeah.
it should have really hurt me a lot more than it did, but I'm more or less fine. And like I've laughed so hard about it. I have had zero negative feelings toward my horse. I was hilarious at the hospital. I've been hilarious to anybody that's tried to help me at home. Um, and like so many people have commented like, you are oddly glass half full, and like you are not bummed out about pain and stuff. And I was like, well, pain
Um,
doesn't carry an emotional attachment to me. Like, I'm not sad that my leg hurts. Like, they're not connected to me. Like, my leg hurts, it is what it is. I got stepped on.
hmm.
um so many,
Hmm.
like, so tangential about so many different things.
Wait, something's coming in. So, okay, because you were asking like what's my beef with human design? I love that question. Okay, can I tell a story?
Please.
So, yesterday I actually had a friend come over and she just got back from a Vajrayana Buddhist retreat and she had like never done anything like that before and it was like very traditional. There's like a guru sitting on a throne, like stuff that she had like never experienced before. And it's like I am very familiar with that entire experience. And so she was just kind of processing it and unpacking it with me. And she was like, I don't know if I should go back or whatever. She's a self-projected projector, by the way, so it was good for us to talk. And and we're just talking, unpacking it, da 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 da. And then eventually I'm like, this guru's gonna bring up shit because that's what the guru is supposed to do. But if you really want to judge a spiritual community or if you really want to judge a spiritual tradition, pay attention to the people in the Sangha and pay attention to the people in the community, maybe not necessarily the teacher. Pay attention to the people who are devotees of the tradition. And do you like the way that their consciousness is being transformed by that tradition? Because that's the point. The point isn't to become a guru. That's a whole other topic that I could talk to at length about. The point is for whatever it is that you're engaging with to transform your consciousness in a beneficial way that benefits like the entire realm. And so I'm pretty new to the system for sure, an absolute novice. But I don't feel like I've met enough people that can prove to me that like being in the system is transforming their consciousness like for the better, like making them into people that are going to leave a better imprint on the earth than where they came from, if that makes any sense. But I don't know what that might just be my opinion. Maybe there's some people that aren't supposed to do that. Differentiation, you know?
The positive planet human design worldview then comes down to the responsibility of transforming the generator.
Oh.
That's what it is. So this is good because it will bring so many things back to home. But the
Yeah.
whole point of strategy and authority was to wake up the generators, because the generators are the only actual renewable resource on the planet, and they're not fertilizing the planet the way that they're supposed to, because they're not living out their response. And so many of them have become narcissistically conditioned into superficial desires and initiating and pursuing them, that they never actually create their own satisfaction. People have been convinced that they have to work to purchase satisfaction, not that their life is meant to actually be satisfying. So none of the generators are actually performing their fertilizing role on the planet, and everything is starving and dying.
Holy shit.
It's nice when I actually get to say something that feels significant. I'm so led by my questions.
I love that. That makes so much sense.
It's like if you could get every woman you know to fill her own cup before she tries to fill someone else's,
Yeah,
that would serve the functionality of human design.
I love that. Yeah.
Which means that pleasure and desire are intrinsically part of how this has to work, because you have to be awake to your own desires. And that's where I get stuck with like, does the consciousness create the matter? Or does the matter create the consciousness? Because things
Mm,
are arriving and you're meant to have a certain reaction to them, but like it's like your reactions
mm,
pull them closer and ground them and plant them and then nurture
mm,
them.
mm,
But like certain things
mm.
are coming down each of our lines for us. We don't necessarily like, I can't
Yeah.
manifest anything out of my ass. But if I can actually figure out what my core thing that I live for is, then I can
Mm,
almost certainly bring that into my life, because there's a
mm,
revealing of what is for me and then a clear path to make it
mm.
be so.
Hmm. Are you kind of describing as like a pure desire as being something that's like a compass that life arranges around when you kind of align yourself with that?
I'm trying to retroactively look at like the experience of getting the horse as like a manifested desire, but
Um,
I didn't have any conscious, like I had no vision board with a horse. I had no manifestation list with a horse on it. So there was no mental, like, what do I want in
hmm,
my dream life? I do recognize there was the childhood desire to have a horse as a farm kid, and I did take
hmm,
lessons occasionally when my family could afford it or whatever. But there was no like
hmm,
my manifestation perfect dream life is I'm gonna go get a horse, and
hmm,
like she was consistently one step closer to getting the horse would be put in front of me and I
hmm,
would have an emotional reaction that made me know something was different, so then I would want to pull at that thread more, like I'm at the rodeo. I really want to go. I'm going to go look at the horses. I really like that
hmm,
horse. There's a cowboy at that horse. He tells me he works at this ranch. I go to this ranch. I have a lesson. I want
hmm,
to be there more. I volunteer there more. I keep seeing the same horse at the same place. The horse one day tells me we belong together, make it happen. She's in my fucking yard in a place that I didn't know I would be moving to
hmm,
that would keep her.
hmm,
And it's like hard to acknowledge that she's a desire because it will make me want to cry, but it wasn't a surface desire. It was so unattainable that it was never gonna. I feel so sad for people that pursue surface desires because they don't get what they actually want. I'm still like learning what I wanted through the experience of having her. I didn't realize I
hmm,
wanted to be able to go garden around my property and just have my horse walk around and
hmm,
be my buddy with me. Like she
hmm,
talks to me, like she's having,
hmm,
but like mentally she talks to me. So she's not annoying about
hmm,
it.
hmm, hmm,
But I didn't know that that was what was going to make me so happy.
hmm, hmm. Wow.
I would love to help people like identify their desires and get them, but I also it's so dangerous because step one of
Well,
that
yeah, well,
conversation
because
they don't
when
do.
I'm what I'm hearing you say is that when you told that story, the impression that I got is that you were just following, okay, this is what we would say in my tradition. You were just following the Shakti. There was Shakti. You were
There
pulling
was
that
life.
line. There was life. That's what Shakti is. You were just following the life, and then that brought you something that utterly surprised you and has transformed you. But you have to have a willingness to be surprised. You have to a willingness to let go of what you think you want. You have to maybe be less mental, which is,
And depending on I think your definition or whatever, that you have to be kicked in the ass in the way that you need to be kicked in the ass. And so like as a third line, um and as a purely tribal being, materialism is so much of my life, material security, material
yeah.
safety, whatever. And so I was comfortable in the last house I was in, and I was coming up on a 7-year cycle
Huh.
there.
Huh.
And my comfort would have made me stay there, but my comfort I noticed was actually like I was starting to develop like fear-based issues. Like I started having anxiety
Huh.
issues and panic attacks and stuff in the environment I was in. And I had to
Hmm.
put myself in a negative financial situation where selling my house was the best solution to that. Now, what's
Hmm.
hilarious is I still haven't sold the house. It's listed for sale right now. I've still moved on to this whole new phase of my life, having not sold the house that I needed to sell in order to.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Oh,
I got forced, quote unquote, because I would have never considered moving unless there was a financial squeeze on my resources to do so.
yeah.
And yet here I am, and I have two places. Okay. I don't quite understand how this is all working out, but I laugh because what
Yeah.
motivated me is not actually
Yeah.
the reason, it's just what my mind can conceive of as the reason.
Hmm.
I really think we don't understand what is happening to us most of the time, but we make up stories about it.
Yeah. Well, I almost kind of feel like you're telling me another story about like the mystery of where strategy and authority are taking us.
Okay. Yep. I'm glad this is coming up because strategy and authority, people think that it's about being correct, and they think that the correctness is about the signature or the not self theme. If I follow strategy and authority, I will be correct, which means in my case, I would never be bitter and I will be successful. So that's why
Yeah.
I do it.
Yeah.
But try to
Yeah.
define things like an invitation or bitter or success. No one can agree on what those concepts mean.
Yeah.
But we all understand things like flow and alignment. Okay. So what if strategy and authority is your way of like micro always being in flow with your story, your script, your
Mm.
path, your
Mm.
incarnation, your purpose, your
Mm. Yeah.
and your authority is your internal God voice that says, yes, that step works. Yes, that next
Mm.
step works. No pause on that
Mm.
step. Could you just wait for something else to fall into place here? Could you just process this a bit more? Could you?
Mm.
Whatever. But
Mm.
I think what our authority says yes to is like what is meant for us, not necessarily what
Yeah.
is good. And
Oh, I completely
or
agree.
happy, and Rob
Oh, I
backs this up a
completely agree.
lot where it's like,
That's like what a 5-year-old wants reality to act like.
yeah,
Is like if I do this, everything will work out and I'll never be sad again. That's like I would say that's an immature worldview.
and those tend to be the people that get overly stuck in the mechanics being identifiers as like, I have to operate this way because if I don't, I'm in trouble. I'm
Totally.
bad. Especially if you
Totally.
have historical like good girl shit going on, then you're gonna be the perfect A student, which means and like we could see those years in my human design history if I'm being perfectly honest.
It's
So
it's part of the plot. I like saying things are
it's
just
all
part of the
part of the
plot.
plot. And like I think it's neat, like the alliances that I ended up like I don't even know what to call them alliances. That's not even my
Yeah.
fucking language. I help people
Yeah.
market themselves. Like I helped people grow successful businesses within human design. They called them
Yeah.
alliances. I called them what collaborating, teamwork, partnership. I don't know what to call it, but it served its purpose
Sometimes
for a
I call
reason.
myself a council member in somebody else's life. I'm on the
I just want to be on
council.
the board of directors for like
I'm
10
on the
people for the rest of my
board.
life, and that's all I want to do. Seriously, some people need a board.
Mhm. Some people.
Self-projected projectors. They need a panel.
Literal. That is hilarious.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm constantly trying to suss out what I think God is. And in my worst times, I think that God is trying to punish me. I think God is trying to like, teach me a lesson, teach me a negative consequence. Like, well, you have to sell your house now, blah, 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 blah. But
Uh,
I don't,
yeah.
I don't think that we're being punished or favored by
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. No, I don't think so at all. I mean, actually, I remember you gave me a couple of readings and you were talking about like King Arthur, like the round
Round
table
table,
within
yeah,
us. Yep, I love that analogy. And something that I say a lot, well, you could say this for like parts work. Like, do you know parts work?
kind of.
It's like you have different parts in your mind, your different parts of your psychology, like different aspects of yourself. And so something that I say a lot, like if we have like a round table within us, is that a lot of people suffer unnecessarily because they're not giving harm a seat at the table in their vision of reality. They think that harm is something that's like an aberration. It's like the existence of things being difficult or harmful or even like damaging to us, like that means that something is wrong in reality and it shouldn't be there. And if you can begin to give harm a seat at the table, this is maybe my channel of struggle talking, then you can start to live in more harmony with reality because you're not fighting against the mere existence of difficulty.
Dude, I feel like harm is like 7 seats at my table and it's sitting with my ego and my spleen. Because like this takes me back to like everyone in the hospital is like, you're kind of glass half full, aren't you? Like I went in for my first CT scan ever and they were like, so we're gonna put the contrast liquid in. It's gonna get hot in your mouth, it's gonna travel down, it's gonna get hot below, and you're gonna feel like you need to pee. It shouldn't be too painful, it'll be over quickly. 30 seconds later, I was like, is it in? They're like, you don't feel anything. I was like, oh, 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 no. I said, I felt nothing in the mouth and all I feel is
Wow.
aroused. And they just all start laughing. I was like, CT scans are fucking great. They're like, you might have a high threshold for pain. I was like, I think I just have a good relationship to it personally. Like, I like I said, a
Yes.
broken knee or whatever isn't going to make me feel sad. Why am I going to have?
Well, I think that's the thing that I'm trying to point to is that what is our relationship to pain? What is our relationship to difficulty? Is it
It's a
something that we're
hell of
trying
a
to completely
catalyst.
eliminate, or is it something that is a catalyst that helps us to grow? That's the thing that I think is obvious.
Yeah, and like, and I'm okay. So this is part of why I'm successful, and I think we share this, but we're kind of tough love people.
Definitely.
Yeah. And like when my kid wiped out, I was never like, "Are you all right?" Like my reaction was like, "Fuck yeah!" Like, "Woo! You really smoked that one, bud." You know, I cheered for a fall because that's the best way to get back up.
Well,
Like,
that's how kids grow their self-esteem,
yeah.
is by
I'm
doing
not
hard
afraid
stuff.
to get back on my horse right now because after she trampled me, I got back on her immediately and
Yes.
trotted past the accident site and
Yes.
then got off. But I was like,
Yeah.
"No, girl, we got this. We're fine, right? We just
Yeah.
learned keep our foot in the stirrup better next time and off we go."
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
extracting the lesson.
Yeah. Well, okay, so there's like extracting the lesson. I mean, I'm like so clued into like the modern spiritual world just because it's like my special interest. But like there's a lot of stuff in like new age spirituality of like you have to find the lesson or like life is trying to teach you something and that's why bad things keep happening to you, da 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 da. That can be like true on some level, but sometimes it's like not a helpful narrative.
Exhausting.
In my tradition, it's a Divine Mother tradition.
Okay.
And so the Divine Mother is the cause, creation, everything substratum. We've already talked about that. But I really like doing explorations with people where this isn't about it's absolutely true that God is the Divine Mother. It's more of like a way to help us to give context to life. It's like a context builder. And so if God is the Divine Mother, and she is supremely compassionate. Like she's like the best mom. She's actually the best mom in the world. She's the mom who completely has your best interest in mind and she knows things that you don't know. And so if that's the case, even you as a mother, like maybe you can relate with this, it's like you sometimes have to correct your children so that they don't hurt themselves, right?
Yes, as in like I'm going to be predominantly consent based with my horse, but there will be treatments that she will require because of her health that she'll be like, "I don't like the taste of that." And I'm like, "Fucking swallow."
Yes. Because you know something that the horse doesn't know.
And I'm like, "You want those bugs out of your butt? You're going to eat the medicine."
Yes. Or like with kids, like you know something that your son doesn't know, right? And so we have to, that's what a parent who is in alignment with actually raising a resilient child is going to have to challenge them sometimes so that they can build their self-esteem or they can learn how to do things or they can feel self-reliant, da 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 da. I view God as the Divine Mother as that in my life where she knows something that I don't know. And when I'm dealing with something really difficult, she just knows something I don't know. And it's trying to help me to evolve into something that I also don't know about. I mean, this is like the channel of abstraction. It's like I don't know what's happening yet, but I sure as shit know something is happening. And I have enough life experience to know that every difficult thing I've ever been through has molded me into a more wise person, you know?
Okay, so I don't know what like the title of belief is when you're like, "Ah, shit just is what it is." I don't know if those are like nihilists or atheists or
That's like the masculine simulation thing. It just is what it is.
it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, it it feels nice sometimes when things just are what they are because you don't have to think about them. When things are not just what they are, we have to think about what they are.
Mm,
But when things just are what they are, sometimes it's really nice to be like, "Oh, I don't have to obsess
mm,
about that. I don't have to analyze that. I don't have to replay
mm,
that. I don't have to." And like I've this comes up frequently with stuff to do with my horse because she's nonverbal. So she's not exactly giving me human context for things where I will like over humanify her experience. And maybe I don't need to do that. Like if she shows me her butt when I walk up with a halter, I could make a big deal about this. Like she's rejecting me. Someone else
oh,
might walk into the same
yeah.
situation and be like, she's very comfortable with you because she's exposing her vulnerable parts to you. Like, so, and someone else is just like, the sun's over there. So sometimes it's just nice to be like, she's facing that way.
Hmm.
Can it just be what it is? Sometimes I want it to just be what it is. Sometimes I want to think that I'm not super responsible. Like you can take a lot
Hmm.
of weight on
Yeah.
yourself if everything is meant for me to solve and fix and perfect and make better and
Hmm.
understand, and
Hmm.
you're the innocence motivation coming out. I don't want
Yeah.
to
No,
hold
no,
myself.
totally. Totally. I don't, it's interesting that you say that. I think that's like a pretty normal reaction to what I'm saying. I don't experience it like that though. I would say the majority of my consciousness is spent just like vibing and loving the fact that this is just the thing that is the inevitable outcome of everything that's ever happened. Like, I'm not like sitting down journaling about like, this is what my mission is and this is the hard thing that I'm dealing with. I literally, this is something that I say a lot. I just have a gentle willingness to allow life to transform me.
Yeah, that seems
And
great.
when shit comes up, I face it because that's what grown-ups do.
And here we are back to your big topic of conflict.
Yeah,
Yeah, when
conflict.
shit happens, I face it.
Yes.
Do you find that people unnecessarily attach like aggression to the word conflict? Do people hear conflict and they
Yes.
immediately assume it's a
Yes.
fight, a battle?
Yes.
I think that's hugely problematic within human design. That when we say like the solar plexus is here for truth and confrontation, people
Yes.
think that they have to like get the nerve to go tell people off.
Yes. No, it could be like confronting somebody with just the truth of how sad you are
And number one, confronting yourself with the
and
honesty of how
confronting
sad you
yourself
are.
100%. I always think it's much more about self-confrontation.
I think it's like entirely almost about self confrontation.
Yeah, totally.
Like, how about we be honest with you before you try to be honest with me?
100%. That's actually good conflict skills. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, being really honest with yourself and about what's really going on with you is what you should bring into a difficult conversation.
Well, and an emotional person can walk up to one of us and be like, "This is how I feel," and we can be like, "Yeah, we know. We felt it when you walked
I
in."
felt it when you turned off your car in the driveway, bud.
Literally, I felt. Okay, I tried to teach Maven this the other day. He was like, "Oh, I can't tell if the cars that I hear are like if someone's coming up here or if it's the highway or if it's that road." And I said, "You'll learn to feel the difference." And he's like, "You mean hear
Yes.
the difference?" And I said, "No, you'll learn to feel the difference.
Yes.
You put the two
Yes.
different people in the same truck and you'll feel which one is coming up to you." Like,
Totally. Is that like an acoustic thing? It's an acoustic thing.
is frequency.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a bass note. It's
yeah.
like we all this is our cognitive ability. And like this is the way that we perceive information in the world. And we all have different cognitive ability. We all have the same cognitive abilities, but we
Yeah.
have like different measurements of each one. And my strong one is my taste, which is a mouth
Hmm.
based cognitive ability, and yours is a tactile based
Hmm.
cognitive ability.
Hmm. Yeah,
um
totally.
I don't even know why I'm saying that.
And no, I was just thinking about like the acoustic nature of like the
Oh,
individual circuit and just like being able to hear those subtle differences, but it might not be anything. That was the only thing
I
that was coming
genuinely
up.
think it's resonance. I think that's what we feel. I think as
Yeah.
something approaches you, it either resonates or harmonizes with whatever you're broadcasting, or it scrambles or whatever. And that's the difference of like when you spend time with someone, if you start yawning, you start going cross-eyed, you start losing your train of thought, your
Mm.
heart rate elevates, all those types of things.
Mm.
There's a good chance you don't vibe with that person and you're trying to find a reason why. And there's a good chance just conflict is going to come up very quickly, not because there's anything
Mm.
wrong with either one of you. You're just not meant to be in space with each other. So
Mm.
it's trying to push you away from each other. Whereas,
Mhm.
like,
Oh yeah. So it's like a compassionate thing that's coming up. It's trying to help you to just like redirect.
yeah, and I think like animals are more sensitive to that from like further distances. So like the dog knows 20 minutes before you come home that you're
Yeah.
coming home. They can't hear
Yeah.
your truck 20 minutes away.
100%.
But there's an intention and a resonance. And also,
Yeah.
I think frequencies have a way of recognizing each other. So, while there's a thousand
Mm.
tendrils coming out of me, one might connect really far over there with someone else
Mm.
because they're attuned to me. So we can connect really far.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, someone over here is not that attuned to me. We can't reach each other the same way.
Yeah.
Frequency gets
Have
really fun.
have you are you familiar with Rupert Sheldrake?
No, I'm not
He's
confrontation with
this
anyone.
Oh no, you're cool. You're cool. He's this kind of fringe scientist who has really informed my work, but like I first heard about him like probably like 15 years ago. And he came up with this theory called morphic resonance, which is basically he's a fringe environmental biologist. Wait, evolutionary biologist. And basically, the idea is that different species have different morphogenetic fields that resonate with one another, which is why, like, he's run experiments where, like, rats will be in little mazes all over the world. And as soon as one of the rats figures out the maze, all of the other rats are able to figure out the maze because there's a field of awareness that a species has that is like an aggregate of all of the awareness of everything in the species. Am I
That
making sense?
Yeah, but what you're actually linking is there have been times when I've made content in human design and I've had like four other people reach out to me on the same day and they're like, "What the fuck, Sam? I'm working on the exact same topic and you just posted yours and I can't post mine because it's going to look like I just copied you."
And
And
you're like, I got there first. No,
I
I'm
was
just
like,
kidding.
literally, splenic. I got the information and I did
Sucks to
something
suck.
stupid.
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, to be splenic and quad left, man, it takes me 15 seconds to put a piece of content together.
100%.
So, yeah, I beat y'all to it. And then I'm a 6'9" on top of it.
Right, or but you're saying that like you've like there's things that arise in the field, and then people are like kind of chewing on things in the field.
Yeah, I
I've
don't
seen
think
that.
I get so annoyed when people try and take credit for any fucking idea. I'm like, as if 90% of the foundation didn't come from somewhere else.
Oh, 100%. I feel you. I mean, all ideas are gifts from God in my world, so.
Thank you. I mean, I'm so interested in like spotlighting people who think they're God and stuff like that. I'm so humored by the conversations, but I don't know, the people that think I'm a believer of anything, they really don't know me that well.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
I'm just like,
Hmm.
I give me a thing and I'll be like, are you what you say you are? You know?
Hmm.
Poke, 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 poke.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm not afraid to get close. I've noticed this about myself. I've aligned myself with some like scary and dark things just to learn.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's a third line thing or a splenic thing or just an idiot
Hmm.
thing, but I've definitely put myself in some
Hmm.
like any rational person would be like, what the hell are you doing? And I'm over here like,
Yeah.
but I need to see how bad it's gonna hurt.
Yeah. No, I get that.
I think I almost bailed on human design because there were too many people that had this belief that in order to be a success within human design, your whole life had to be perfect according to what your mechanics said your true self
Hmm.
was. And if you weren't demonstrating
Hmm.
that, then you weren't demonstrating the validity of human design. And there were too many things I wanted to do in
Hmm.
my life that were going to make me look not self to people that didn't actually understand what was going on.
Totally.
I'm like, I'm not self. You just don't know human design that well.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah. I live from the belief is the wrong word, but we're just going to use it because English. I live from the belief that like God created the universe so that she could have experiences. Because prior to the creation of physical reality, this is the most nutshell explanation imaginable. She was just vibing as pure awareness. She didn't have a physical form. Like the to even conceive of pure awareness is impossible because like the mind will turn it into something when it's like beyond comprehension. Da 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 da. She does that for some amount of time. And then she's like, I'm tired of just vibing and being awareness. I'm going to create a physical reality so that I can have an experience aside from just vibing. And so her bottom line with all of physical reality is to have a new experience. That's all she cares about. This is just my worldview. All she cares about is having a new experience. That might be a horrifying experience. It might be a blissful experience, but she wants a new experience. And consciousness has been evolving for billions, trillions of years, and so there's plenty of new experiences that she's having in multiple realities, probably.
This is
But
why
when I think
everybody
of
has
like,
ADHD because
maybe,
it's like that sounds like a gift from fucking God then. On to the next, on to the next,
totally.
on to the next. We're all, and we're about to enter into the cross of the sleeping phoenix, which is
Exactly.
about being busy in the now and creating in the now. And
Yes.
I am so
Yes.
sick of heady
And
conversations where
being
I
an
don't,
individual and doing something new,
dude, I like,
right? Like
I
that
need to,
individual frequency.
my version of being God is building my world around me.
Yeah.
Like I need a landscape to literally move around. Like I need to be able to move
Yeah.
dirt and rocks and horse shit. And
Yeah.
I like life-size Lego, you know. I
Yeah.
Yeah, my consciousness needs a playground. Otherwise, my
Hmm.
consciousness doesn't want to be here. It wants to off me and go back to awareness.
Hmm. So I was bringing up God's bottom line is having new experiences because I think that kind of blows the roof off of like a very surface understanding of human design, where it's like, well, if you do all these things right, then you'll be able to be successful. I think any notion of what we think success is probably like seven-centered bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think the new thing, like for instance, I just moved into a studio apartment after getting broken up with. I feel so fucking successful.
Yeah.
Success for me is like this is my domain. It's clean
Yeah.
all the time. I know where all my cups are. I feel so successful. This is the perfect amount of energy for me. I only have this much energy.
I love the parallels of this. Like, I didn't want people to think that by selling my house in the city and moving into a fifth wheel that I was like wrecking my life. My dad was
I
like,
don't see it
you
like
know
that.
this isn't a win, Sam, right? That like you know this is not a step forward. I was like, it might not be for you, Kevin, but you wouldn't
Fuck
buy
his
me the
notion of
horse,
self-forward. Yeah,
right?
come on.
I have the horse now. Sorry. I might have had
Yeah,
to trade the RV or trade the
totally.
house, but
Yeah. I mean,
but
that's what differentiation sounds like to me, is like the success that you feel in your differentiated reality.
one of the happiest days of my life, I like I had a day. I knew I was like, this is the best day. And I looked back on it so many times and I spent a whole fucking day in a creek that wasn't that deep or that fast. And all
Uh,
it was so many rocks, tiny rocks, huge rocks. I spent the whole day in the creek picking up rocks and moving them and making pools and then watching where like the water would superpower because it was funneling and then it would blow my
yeah.
fucking walls apart and stuff. And it was like
Like a beaver.
literally it was just creation destruction, and it was hot but it was
Yeah.
cold and I was dry but I was wet but I was, and nobody talked to me, and it was so peaceful and it's so regulating. And my second best time in my life ever was when I took an RV by myself and went out into the woods for a week, and all I had was like books and 12 things to eat. And I kind of had a breakdown because I didn't hear the sound of my own voice anymore. And it was beautiful. And I like completely shifted to sunrise and sunset and napping. And like it
Mm.
only took 7 days and I became my favorite version of myself. And nothing
Mm.
about this had anything to do with like projected success people were selling
Yes.
me.
Yeah.
It was just, I was so fucking happy to just be alive.
Yeah. Oh my God. That sounds amazing. I th
I honestly, I think there are a lot of projectors that are wanting to forfeit these lives that they built that maybe looked a certain kind of way.
mm.
I think
Mm.
there are so many projectors that are like, I don't want the big house. It's too much to take care of.
Mm.
I don't,
Mm.
everything that
Dude,
they have to hire
yeah.
help for.
Yeah, why do I have to delegate?
Also, I don't know how many fucking broke ass projectors tell themselves that eventually they're going to have a house and a house cleaner. And I'm like, you live with your fucking parents. Okay. Like, what manifestation level do you see for yourself where that's even a possibility or a dream? And like, what projector shit did you tell yourself about? Like, you're not here to work.
Totally.
Like, what?
I think that the actual expression of success for each person might be so radically not what we think it is. That is one of the actually I love how human design could actually confront you with that. I think that's very confronting to the ego even. What you think is good for you. what you think you want, when what actually might be good for you is living in a trailer in the woods with your horse.
Yeah, because I can tell you when I made the most money ever in human design, I never left my room. I was super underweight. I was the most medicated. So the most financially successful I've ever been was technically one of the least healthiest times I've ever had in human design. All right. I can tell you right now, I think I could lick the floor of a fucking hospital and I wouldn't catch a cold. And like I got broken ribs. I live in a fifth wheel where I'm doing the manual labor of my own fucking septic going out and stuff like that. Like none of this speaks projector rest and
Mhm.
relaxation. But
Oh,
I'm
I get you.
happy and I'm
I get
healthy.
you. I walk like 15,000 steps a day. Are
Yeah.
projectors allowed to do that?
Fucking route defined one. Literally, we tell people with the route to splenic definition, walking is your best activity.
It is.
Yeah.
I've run that experiment.
And as an artificial shores, you're going to be one of those elderly people that can walk around like a fitness center and just do the track or whatever.
Shut up.
You're going to be one of those mall walkers that just does
Oh
lakes in the
yeah.
winter.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's very refreshing to talk to you.
Good.
You said something interesting earlier, not on here, but just personally about kids. And you also said
Mhm.
you've talked very much about like parenting or like the mothering like
Mhm.
God is going to be your best mommy.
Mhm.
Do you have thoughts about projectors being parents or projectors
Mhm.
being moms?
Oh my gosh. Well, I was a step parent before this breakup for 3 years. And we were briefly talking before this, and I think I met him so that I could meet his daughter,
Hmm.
so that I could do some really intense heavy lifting with my fucking issues and my inner child problems. And I have extreme mommy trauma, lots of stuff going on with that. And it was extremely profound, the healing I went through. I feel like my nervous system has been reconditioned. Like shit that used to drive me up the wall, it doesn't bother me at all anymore. Not just with being a parent, but like on multiple levels of life. Does that make sense? It's like I
Oh
feel
yeah.
like being in the hot pot of the parenting reconditioned my nervous system so that I can handle more intensity even like outside of being a parent. Do you know what I mean?
Well, and it's neat because with if you're into human design or you're into these kinds of systems and you meet a kid, when they express something that feels like more unique, more differentiated, out of the norm, it to me it creates a curiosity and wanting to either enhance, nurture, or protect that. Like, oh, we found one that hasn't been conditioned yet. How do we keep them like
Mm.
un
Mm.
unwhatevered? But I can
Mm.
also see becoming a little bit like two hands off and then like letting
Mm.
them be whatever they're meant to be and like
Dude,
not
it's a
actually guiding them
dance.
that much.
Dude, it's a dance. Especially as a step parent because I've had to earn her respect, right? I think when you're a biological parent, it's kind of baked in that you're like the authority figure and they listen to you and you can discipline them. It took me a long time to feel like I could really give her my opinion about things.
Maven, uh, whatever his programming is, he is very wants to do good, wants to be a rule follower. I did not have to be strict with him. I've had to actually do the opposite. I've had to help Maven understand that he should question and challenge authority.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
Maven's like never, he doesn't argue with me. And like the first time he gave me a little bit of sass back, I was like, good job. Good job questioning
Nice.
me. And he's like, what? And I was like, what? I don't think I'm right. I think I have a lot of
Yeah.
shit to say. I don't think I'm right, man. I think there are
Yeah.
always better options. So if you find it, no problem.
Yeah.
And Maven has given me some really interesting advice. Like Maven gave me a one-liner for financial advice this year, and I was fucking blown away. Blown away. It was the
Yeah.
most simple thing, but what was neat is that because of his like young perspective, I listened. He knows me well. He's
Yeah.
untarnished.
Mhm.
He said something, he took the chance in saying something from the heart, and I was like, he's right. I'm going to do that. And then there were
Yeah.
positive results from it. And I was like, I took your advice and it worked. And he was like,
Oh,
see? Like,
I
so
bet that
he
made him feel good.
totally, he knows that he has the power to do that. But because we've established that, now I'm seeing him actually confront other authority figures. And that's where it's starting
Mm.
to get fascinating because he now has the confidence established to be like,
Mm.
I don't know if you're right just because you said that. So he is now like,
Yeah.
um, I've taken out the ingrained respect that his father and I would have from birth, and he
Yeah.
openly questions both of us, and I fucking love it. And his father hates it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's also hope and delusion
Wow.
like you.
Oh. But you were asking projectors and being parents.
I was, as much as I am a parent, I think it's worth noting that I had like 5 miscarriages after Maven, so I only got one and they
Whoa.
never worked out again. And
Whoa.
I also know a variety of projectors who have like 5, 6, upwards of fucking 10 kids. I've heard of multiple projectors that have like 10, 11 kids, which is
You
insane.
better have some tribal circuitry.
Yeah, I'm like, make the channel of mating with your husband much? Jesus.
I know. Jesus, that one. Use protection, folks. Are you listening?
Literally, one of them, the fifth kid, he had a vasectomy and she still got pregnant.
Are you for fucking
I was like,
real?
tell me it wasn't meant to be, man. Like, if it's in your script to do that, or if it's in your,
Oh my
your narrative to do
God.
that. And I don't want to ever create rules for types because that's when those labels become like
Yeah.
restricty.
I think all we can do is tell stories. I mean, this is me, Abstract Collective, right now. I think all we can do is just tell stories about what we have experienced, and then people can use their authority to kind of like make a decision. And like for me, just doing 3 years of step parenting, which was a lot of heavy lifting. It's just a different dynamic when you're the step parent. It's a lot of heavy lifting. I don't I couldn't have kept going. I love her to death. I'm so glad that I met her. I'm gonna keep having a relationship with her, but you like posted something. I think I like commented on your post recently. I was trying to remember, but you said like a projector can either be in a happy relationship, successful in their work, or have kids, and you can only pick two.
Pick two out
You
of
can only
three.
pick two.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, in my experience, it kind of feels like you either have to be really, your authority is telling you to be a parent, which is totally legit, or because that shit takes so much energy. Oh my God, I'm always tracking them. I'm always like reading
Well,
what's going on with them. Like,
yeah. And like
Jesus
we have the
Christ.
1-to-1 energy gift, right? So if
Yes.
you give me a partner, I can focus on that one partner. You put a kid in front of me and I
Yes.
focus on that kid, that partner feels rejected. You give me three
Yes.
more kids and I can have one of them at a time, but having them all in front of
Yes.
me at once, people are feeling
Yeah.
rejected. Like it energetically, it
Yes.
doesn't work for us to split our attention like that. And then we end up
Yes.
having to divide out the attention. And there's only so much fucking time and energy in a day.
Yes.
And then everything's
I know. And then
divided
you have to go
out.
to
And
work and then you have to I feel like okay, what's the analogy that I want to use? I feel like I was kind of like bleeding out for 3 years and I kept like trying to do certain remediations to try to fix the issue when the problem was that I'm not supposed to be a parent. And so I was like, maybe I should work less because I thought like, oh, well, I have these full weeks of client work. And then at the end of the week, I'm so gassed out that I don't even have enough energy for my friends. And I'm like, okay, that's for sure not success for me. Like, I want to feel like I have energy for life. And so I started to work with people less. And then I was like, okay, I have a little bit more energy. But like, the thing that has made me feel more free than anything is just not having that responsibility anymore.
yeah,
Like I felt like I was just trying to like remediate the soil when like the problem was that like it was just not the right soil for me. Like I have to be in different soil.
I think, yeah, I need a relationship to pour into, but once it becomes more than like 1.5, it's too much. So like I can have my kid 75% of the time and I can have a horse 100% of the time, but
Yeah.
beyond that, it's too much. Like
Yeah.
I'm only going to work 3 hours today, but between that, the kid, the horse and my peace of mind, I'm booked. Like I don't have
Yeah.
time for anything else.
Yeah.
And when I say I don't have time, it's like I got plenty of fucking time. I just choose to,
Well, yeah, it's like how yeah, I know what you mean.
but like I have the things for my adventure and the new experiences that like I don't know, this is my world, this is my family, but also there's no space for a relationship of any sort right now. I have zero
Mhm.
fucking drive.
Mhm.
Zero drive for romance.
Mhm.
I think about romance
Yeah.
and I think about literally going bankrupt.
I literally, are we the same person? I'm having the exact same experience. I'm feeling so down on that right now. I think I'm just kind of overcorrecting. I'm just speaking for myself. I feel like I'm overcorrecting by going super down on it so that I can like realign with myself. Where I'm like, what do you mean get into a relationship? You mean like ruin my life? Like, why would I do that?
If I think about kissing, I'm like so turned off.
Wow.
So literally all I think is like even if somebody tried to have a relationship, like the perfect person could show up for me and they would try to initiate something romantically and I would be like,
Oh,
"Ew.
oh
Oh, I'm sorry.
no.
I didn't mean to offend you. Ah, that didn't mean to come out of my mouth, you know. You're
Oh,
not terrible. It's just a me thing. I don't know how to explain this in the real world. Never mind. Ah, run."
yeah. Yeah. Sorry, it's not you, it's me. Actually, maybe it is you and me.
I would love to see myself on a reality TV show because it would absolutely shatter my self perspective. Because I think I'm one way, but I think if you put me in a crowd, I would be like, what is wrong with that lady? I think I have pretty minimal social skills.
Yeah. I think an energy that I'm tapping into right now, because I'm single now for the first time in like 12 years, like to be honest. And so I've been a serial dater. And so the thing that I'm using as like a guiding principle right now is like my gate 40, my Jupiter in 40.
Mhm.
And so I'm kind of just like, what are you going to do for me? Like if there's like a man who's going to try to approach me, I'm going to be like, okay, what are you going to do for me?
Literally, a man propositioned me 2 weeks ago, and my reaction to him was, what do I get out of this? And he was like, what do you mean? People have needs? And I was like, I don't have needs. I don't have needs. I don't understand the motivating force here. What's the value in this for me? And they were like, a relationship? And I was like, ugh.
Oh, come on. There's more to it than that.
Like,
What do you mean a
what are you
relationship?
gonna do? Hang out around here? Are you gonna put on a show? Ugh.
I know. I know. What are you gonna do for me? Or like, what do I get out of this? Like, I'm like
Literally,
really sitting in that.
I'm
I'm like
actually just
really sitting
totally
in that.
stuck in a goddess kink thing, which to me is an evolution of a projector praise kink. Projectors have to be more honest with themselves. They all have fucking praise kinks. They don't
100%.
recognize that that's what it is. There is no projector that is ever going to be happy being like a service sub sexually. Like it's sorry.
Wow.
Even if you're a service sub, you're going to have to be told like good job little service sub in order to feel fucking
Oh,
not bitter about it. They all want praise. We all want
yes.
praise. So at the end of the day, I was like, what trauma? And don't get me wrong, I could list it all, but we're past that. What trauma got me on my knees ever? Ever.
Huh.
I don't think I'll ever go back there. You know, like they
Oh,
might on theirs, but I'm done.
yeah.
Serve me or go away.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm
Mm-hmm.
at.
Same timeline.
Is this just projectors rising?
I don't know.
Hold
It
on.
might be projectors. It's like I'm at my limit, dog. I'm at my fucking limit.
Literally. This is great chat.
Great chat.
Let's close it out here.
Sounds good.
Thanks for coming on, Hannah. Anything you want to tell people before you go?
Yeah, so actually, speaking of conflict, the reason why there's a ton of conflict stuff on my Instagram right now is because I'm teaching a 6-week training about getting better at conflict.
July 28th.
Um, July 28th.
Look at me go.
Yeah, with another splenic projector who also has a channel of struggle. So we're really mutating fighting.
I like this. I like this.
Yeah.
Wait, is it Amanda?
No, no, no. It's my colleague, Monica. I
Okay.
attract a lot of strugglers.
Yeah, totally. Bunch of
Yeah.
strugglers. I love this struggle
Yeah.
bus. Oh my God, someone commented on my YouTube. They're like, you saying that it's a struggle bus is not empowering.
I love being on the struggle bus. So,
I was like, sounds like you just, you're on the struggle bus.
yes.
Oh my God. Okay. Thank you for coming to chat to me.
Yeah.
Next time.
Next time.